Hello, Gali.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. We are slightly delayed due to load shedding,
Exactly.
which will no longer be a problem
Yes,
because
because tomorrow I think that we will have yes backup.
full solar system.
Well, yes, and
Yeah.
and within full solar system. But from
Yeah.
tomorrow we will not have from tomorrow we will not have load shedding as far as we're concerned.
That's exciting. All right, let's dive into the subject today, which is love. And it's a thin line between love and hate,
Yes.
and all kinds of love, whether it's friendship, you see friendship with big love, and then it turns into hate, or romantic love, or any type of love that you want to have, and then you really want the guy or the girl, and then you decide they're no good.
Yes.
There's this tipping point, and people kind of struggle to either keep it, get it, and then they eventually lose it, and it becomes hate. So it's quite a big topic. But I mean, of course, love is like the biggest topic of all, right?
Yes.
But very fitting for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And first of all, what is love?
So, love is love is the urge
Mm-hmm.
to share the same space for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, for as long as you want to be with someone, not because there is a deal, I give you, you give me.
Mm-hmm.
There's love.
Yeah.
So, love really is a total duplication.
Okay.
It's the highest level of communication.
And what do you mean by duplication?
Duplication, it means that two people can share the same space. So whatever I know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
It is an extreme admiration.
Mm-hmm.
It is no barriers at all.
Right. And so, how do you bring that type of thing in from being a spiritual moment or a spiritual quality, but it's happening in such a physical way?
Yeah. So what happened is so in order to love, what you do, you give,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get this sensation that's called love.
Mm.
You give. So a mother give life to her child,
Yeah.
and of course she loves him or her the most.
Right.
And for as long as the child allow her to give, and she will love him.
Yes.
And of course, there's a trap there that if you give, and don't get back, then the other person will not love you.
Yes. Then it goes into the thin line into hate.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But you will see that in this universe, you ask me how it's come about. So you've got the spirit, and the spirit put something out. It put an idea out, and it give life into.
Yeah.
So you give life into thing. By creating, you give thing, and you love your creation.
Yeah.
Real love is this thing that you created. You give life into it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you created that, and you give life into this thing, and then you have total duplication, and it sounds amazing and romantic and everything. However, it's amazingly boring.
Mm.
It's really boring because if you live with someone that it's you,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're amazing, it's still boring.
I see. Yeah.
So you live with yourself.
Yeah. If you basically created something exactly the way you wanted to
If
create
there's
it.
an actual full duplication,
In other words,
there's
yeah.
no communication.
Okay. Yeah.
And if there is total differentiation, there's no communication.
Mm-hmm.
So the best communication will be when there's similarity. What is a similarity? 50% differentiation and 50% identity.
So if you have two people that are totally identical, right? In other words, they fully understand each other. There'll be no communication because what is there to talk about?
No, there's one. You cannot talk to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So
A pen cannot
yeah.
talk to a pen. You need another pen to create a flow.
Yes, I see.
In order to create a flow, you need a change. You need plus and minus.
Okay.
So when people think, oh wow, the ideal scene is for us to share the same space and to be exact, true, beautiful for 25 seconds. That's more or less the time that love lasts.
Yeah, yeah. True. That's okay. So basically you have this person that you are very, very close to them, and it basically gets to the point that you are one.
Yeah.
Right? No communication. Or you have a situation where you're super different, there's an upset.
No communication.
No communication either. So you need the difference. And that's why
you need similarity. You need 50% good and 50%. But,
yes.
But there is here something quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You start with bringing life into things. So you start with putting something there. You start with the plus.
Yes.
And then there's the minus.
Mm-hmm.
And any minus is a minus only for as long as there is a plus, which means the minus get its power from the plus.
Mm-hmm.
So broken glass, it's there because there was a glass.
Right.
If there was no glass, there would be no broken glass.
Of course, yeah.
You cannot break a glass that was not there.
True.
So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The creation comes first.
Meaning what? The chicken?
The chicken, of course. Yeah. And because the chicken will come from nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no question what comes first, the chicken or the egg, because in the physical universe, something comes out of nothing.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So the physical universe, something comes out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in the Bible, they say, at least in the Hebrew Bible, they say that God brought about something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. Okay. So you have the situation where, and by the way, that's a great lesson as to why it's actually important not to find picture perfect. People expect to meet the perfect package. And we always talk about the idea that if there's 60%, 70%, it's like, that's amazing.
It's actually, the problem is because they try to bring picture perfect, they overshoot. Or too much identical or too much differences. Mm-hmm. So the communication, really, what is a communication? A communication is effort to bring about this exact balance between identities and the differences. This is really what communication is all about. And when you miscommunicate, you overshoot all the time. Either you try too much to be the same, or you try to be too much different, and the end result is hate.
Amazing. Yeah, for sure. That's exactly it. You can see that with friends, with wives, with whatever the case may be, where there's a discussion and you want them to think exactly your way. It's not going to be good. There's going to be a clash. Or you say something that's way too different.
Yeah.
There's going to be a clash. Yeah, yeah.
So but remember, for a person that handling love, for a person that want to create a relationship, is that you must never get impressed with the negative feeling, with the negative situation. When you see someone that think that you're bad and terrible and you need to know that person actually tell you, look, I loved you before, and that was my first decision.
Yeah.
This is truth. And then I lied and I said that I don't love you. Because the beginning is the truth, you understand?
Yeah.
The first thing that you say is the truth. And then I lied and I said, I don't love you. And now, because I don't love you, I'm trying to handle the second thing. But this is a lie. You cannot handle a lie. You need to find the truth to remove the lie.
Right.
So for as long as you try to find out why I don't love you and how much I should not love you and how bad you are, etc., you will never solve. Because the truth is that this is a lie. What you need to do is to intensify back the love.
Yes, yeah. And that happens though with, I don't know, business partnerships, marriages, friendships, anything. But in that moment that somebody's really upset with you, how can you intensify the love, because all they're thinking about is the current state right now, which is the not love. Yeah.
That's a very good question. This is very wise.
That's very, very wise not
Thank
to
you.
get too impressed with a negative impression. Yeah.
Thank you. Who is the Facebook user?
It might be Tressa, perhaps.
Is it still use Tressa? I thought that.
If you want, you can go to chat.restream.io/FB, sign up there, put in your details, and then once and for all the future live streams on Facebook, we'll see your name. It's just a limitation with this software. It doesn't show.
That's
Margaret. It's Margaret. Okay, not Tressa.
I thought that's it. Tressa, and now for sure she will do it because your accent.
Oh, because I made it clear with the link.
The accent.
Yeah.
I know that it sounds like.
Of course. So good, Margaret. Go ahead and do that. So for all their live streams, and for anyone listening, you do it once, and then we see your name on Facebook. Okay. So yeah. Go ahead. What's the?
So basically, what you have is you need to really know that in order to handle that situation. So ask me, how do you handle the situation where the person is now insane, things are going bad, and there's nothing.
Yeah, how do you bring them back to?
Yeah, how do you bring them back to life?
Yes.
How do you bring them back to life? Two things.
Yeah.
Two things. The first thing that you need to do is I need to tell you a story first, which you know the story, but I'll tell you the story.
Okay. Tell them the story.
Yes. So, so there is a tribe in Africa that in Africa, when in this tribe, when someone doing something bad, when someone is really bad, like he stole, he killed someone, he did something terrible, what they do, they are not reasonable. They are really vicious. What they do, they take the person, they put him in the middle of the village, and the whole tribe for 2 days straight. Yes, even the camera get excited. For 2 days straight, 2 days straight, tell this person all the good things that he's done, anything good they see about him, and they make him so wow that he realized that he's actually perfect, and anything that is not perfect is not him. So everyone realized that he's perfect because they say that they're perfect, that he's perfect. They give him. The end result, they love him.
Mm-hmm.
And he cannot. They create such a difference between the plus and the minus. They give him plus, they give him plus, they give him plus, they give him plus. He has so much plus that he has to give plus back forever and ever and ever. So the first thing you need to know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The
first thing you need to know, that you need to find this person and find all his friends, all his people that close to him, not the guy that fight with him, and you conspire to help him by telling him, by reminding him how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
So you give him plus, you give him plus, you give him plus, you give him plus, and he has to give plus back.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if the person have, at the moment of sanity, before this whole stuff happened,
mm-hmm.
if he really understands, in which I just explained,
mm-hmm.
that there is plus before minus, that any minus is just a line, that overshooting of the communication, love is really a perfect communication, and perfect communication do not mean the same, do not mean what I want, do not mean all of this nonsense. It's just 50% differentiation and 50% identities. And if the person really understands it at the moment of sanity, when something like that happens, he will know that that's the actual source. So he can be upset for a day, 2, 3. After 3 days, he will come back home and things will sort out.
Yeah.
But he needs to know that before the insanity, because once the insanity started, he deteriorated, and it's almost impossible to reverse him back if he doesn't really understand the principle. And that's why this interview is so important, and it's important that everyone will share it and explain it and show it to other people, because at the moment of sanity, you can understand that. But all the principles have a basic principle that everyone agree to. That all the principle that you agree to has an exclusion which says that they're true, 100% true, not for me, for someone else, not in my case. So everyone will agree and will say, yeah, yes, it's very true, but in this case, it's different.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the challenge, right? And you have to realize that you're doing that. Like, for example, you learn about responsibility.
Yeah.
You're responsible for everything. And you go, yes, I'm responsible for everything. I like it. And then this particular situation, though, is a little different. I'm not responsible for this one because of. Yeah, it's so true. And then you have to say, whoa.
Yeah, that's a basic principle. And you really need to understand that that's what happened. And you really need to learn it at a moment of sanity.
Yeah.
So once you understand it in a moment of sanity, when it happened, even if you say it's different deep inside or deep outside, you know, not right. You know. And it will take you a moment or 2 or 7, but you will come back to your senses.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's so important to almost be preventative, because it's inevitable that there's going to be pressures from the outside. And so how do you have someone who is a friend or a loved one, and maybe they don't want to sit down and watch something, but how do you take preventative action because of all the pressures and insanities of the physical universe?
Yeah. So they will not want to hear it from you. Yes.
Exactly.
Me and you have our, which is quite interesting, differences.
Yeah, we have our differences. Yeah.
We have our differences because what you want is differences. Yes. You don't want to actually have not differences. You want differences and you want identities. Yes. And people try to fix or to settle their differences, which is quite cuckoo. Yes.
Or maybe it's an overshoot. It's too many differences.
Yes.
Right.
So the idea of settling my differences is quite amazing.
Yeah.
Because really what you want is you want to acknowledge the differences and acknowledge the similarities, and everything will be fine.
Amazing. That's it's
everything
different.
Will be fine. It is. What people do with differences, they say, well, it's not okay. I want to change it. No, just acknowledge the differences and acknowledge the identities, and everything will be fine.
Amazing. Yeah. I like that a lot. Okay, so you have people that have their differences.
So you have people that have their differences, and, yes. And what you do is, if that person himself don't want to learn, you need to teach everyone around him. So the whole village will tell you that you are good.
Yeah, I see.
You understand? So the whole village will communicate that, and
yeah.
Hey, Margaret, I see your name.
Yes. Yes, good question, Gal. Thank you,
Margaret.
Yeah. So
aloha.
So that's when there's the differences already. Then you get everyone involved. But let's say you're on great terms, and you're in this new blossoming friendship or relationship. But they still are not into sitting and watching live.
You talk to them.
Start to explain to them principles over dinner.
There's no person that know me that don't hear from me those principles. It will just, it's like, if you know me, you hear those principles.
How do you bring it up? Like, how do you make it a casual conversation?
It's very simple, because you start to talk to someone and he will start to spew. He will tell you fake realities non-stop. The average person will give you also on every single breath a piece of fake reality.
Yeah, you do. Somebody says, I don't know.
Life is difficult.
Life's difficult, okay? And so what do you say? Well, that's not true.
No. I say, wow, interesting. So what does it mean? What do you mean life is difficult? So it's I'm stressed. I have so much stress. And I tell him, what is stress? He says, this thing that I feel. And I say, I want to tell you something. If you feel something and you don't handle if it's not being fixed, you don't know the source of the problem. In fact, you go to a doctor and he give you medicines and medicine and medicine, and your condition become worse. You become more and more stressed. Obviously, this doctor is not really, maybe he's a witch doctor, but he's not a doctor.
Exactly.
Okay. And he immediately, boom, get it. He will see that. You give him something just very low gradient. And the principle is like, okay, if you're trying to handle a problem and the problem is not handled, you're trying to handle the wrong problem.
Right.
And he will tell you, blah, 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 and you acknowledge, and you say, okay, good. So what is stress? And he say, well, you say, and you say, stress is not the things that you have to do. Stress comes from the thing that you don't do. And you're telling me about all the things that you have to do and all the things that you've done. That's not where the stress comes. Stress comes all the things that you are not doing. And you will say, well, that's true. And you say, so what's those things that you're not doing? And he said, well, I don't have time. Okay. So let's have a look at time. Okay. So time, a person that don't have time, what he says, I'm going from point A to point B. And why don't I have time? Because I got to B to C to D to E to F. I never arrive to B, which means time, when a person don't have time, when a person need to be faster, you don't be faster by going faster. Faster is the result of no noise, of no distraction.
Yes.
And you just explain to him this basic thing, and the guy was like, boom, 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 light bulb, light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. 97.5% of people would have that with no problem.
Amazing.
Sometimes they will give you something, argue, blah, blah, blah. And you just say, your friend is the word, I understand. You really have to understand them. That's all they want to know, that you understand them, and then you continue. But you need to know that you know, and you are now helping them. You're really helping them. How do you help them? By removing from them fake realities. And every small piece of fake reality you move, you open for them a universe. Why? Because if their awareness is here, like 0.00001 millimeter, and you moved it by 0.00001 millimeter, you double the awareness. It's serious.
True.
Over time, then they learn, and now they know 5. And you give them 0.00001, you're not making a dent. You need to give them something more serious.
True. And that's why in a lot of the advanced courses,
you need to get something. We go into things like past lives, remote viewing, all kinds of things that usually people don't even think about it. It's like, what are they doing?
Amazing. And I want to talk about one of the upcoming courses that you have, speaking of that. But before we do that, one more question on this topic. And Anna actually said, wow, the line between love and hate is really thin, which is true. That's my actually kind of wrapping up my line of questioning today. So why is it that it's so thin? I know we've spoken about it, but why is it so close? Because you would think you'd have big love. That there's such
because for every plus in this universe, automatically and uncontrollably, there's minus.
But why can it break so easily?
And you have the plus. You put it automatic. Thing that you put on automatic will come and bite you. So if you love someone and you say, I love you, but I hate you, which means if you know for sure that you can love and hate, you'll take responsible for both, then you'll bring this balance that we are talking about. So how do you come in balance? Because you say, I want money, you will not have money. If I will tell you right now to say, remember the number, or forget the number 7876. Forget the number 7876. Forget the number 7876. Which number you will not remember? You will never forget.
Yeah, 7876.
Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes. Or if I tell you, if you say right now, I don't have headache. I don't have headache. I don't have headache. What will you have?
A headache.
Extreme headache.
Yeah, just from saying it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh wait. I need to focus it
Yeah,
back.
you need to move.
There we
this,
go. Yeah, and so okay, so you have this extreme
plus and minus, and you don't take responsibility for the other side. You put all your attention on the one side, so you create the other side uncontrollably.
Yes.
But if you are willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm, if you are willing to love and hate with the same level of enthusiasm, if you are willing to live and die with the same level of enthusiasm, if you are actually realizing that cause, mean, plus and minus, and that you can take both, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
You would see that you would never have anything else other than perfection.
Amazing.
What is perfection in the physical universe? Plus and minus.
Oh, amazing. Okay, but if the people I love, I don't hate them.
No, you need to be able to realize that when you put love, the immediate things that happen in the physical universe is minus. So you, the spirit, you, the spirit, totally able to love them.
Yeah.
So if you would just create it and create it and create it and create it and never put it on automatic, beautiful. But since you want to play the game, you don't want this total duplication, the sharing of the same space. You want the game.
Right.
So you're creating plus and minus. So you need to realize what you're doing, and you need to be able to experience both sides of the game. And if you are willing to attack and protect at the same level, if you are willing to win and lose, if you are just willing, you'll see that you will control both sides of the game. And at that moment, you would enjoy the game instead of trying not to lose the game or trying to win the game. In both cases, you will lose. Why? The only way to play a game is to play it for the fun of it, not for the win of it.
For sure. But now, if you love someone in the physical universe, it will manifest as you said, there'll be hate in that package. So you love someone, you spiritually put the love there, but physically it comes in the package with hate.
Of course.
How does that hate manifest? Because in the physical universe, day to day, I don't hate the people that I love.
Disagreements.
Okay, disagreements.
Yes. Things that you totally don't agree with.
Yeah, but it's tiny. It's not proportional to the love.
Yes. So that's what happened. It starts with tiny and you think that it's tiny because you look at love in a matter of 3 months. Now take it into a year. There's a little bit more disagreements. Take it into a lifetime.
Yeah. So it builds up.
Because you put the love there. At the beginning, you create. So at the beginning, you just create. There's no minus and no plus.
Yeah.
You just create. But then you say, okay, fine, that's a bit boring. Okay, I got you. Fine, I understand. Good. Boring. It's actually boring. This thing that you wanted so much is boring because you're the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so since it's boring, now you start to create a game. You want communication.
Yeah.
So you start to put differences. You start to put identities. You realize, oh, I don't like this thing, and I don't like this thing, and I don't like this thing. And you tell to yourself that it's small, but it's not small. It's exactly at the same level of the plus.
Amazing. Okay. And you actually put it there as well.
You put it there. You put it there unknowingly. You put it there because you make a decision. What is a universe? A universe is a set of laws.
Yeah.
And in this universe, one of the things that you agree to is that for every plus, there will be minus that will come there automatically, uncontrollably.
Okay. And so it is you putting it there. You just have no idea that you put a disagreement.
You just don't take responsibility for it, and so it can hurt you.
I see. So
you have a lot of idea. You just don't want to admit it, so it hurts